Off the meeting.
I have a meeting with Diamond Equity, the SOMA that I was working with, because I still have a month that I paid for that I wasn't able to use.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna get that going for just get my money's worth at least.
Yeah.
But that's after this.
Yeah. One of the things I'd say is if any of you, whatever platform you like to go on as far as social media or the internet, wherever you personally get news, not UWM, the daily, what is it called now? I think it's just called UWM Daily. It was called Inside Pass, but it's like the daily video, which you do get points for watching that. It's good to watch that because you stay up to date with where interest rates are at. And when you're quoting people, you start to get used to where rates are at, and you're going to have people call and say, well, what do you think where are rates at for this? And it always really depends, of course. But if you kind of get in a habit of knowing roughly where FHA is at, if someone had amazing credit or conventional and amazing credit, and then you watch the Inside Pass and see how much the basis points fluctuate, don't worry about it, right? If you hear, oh, today was really bad, like we started off 40 basis points worse than market close yesterday. That's not what happened today, but don't embrace that, because that's what a lot of people do. And so when a client calls, they go, oh, today's really bad. Client doesn't know, client doesn't care. They just want to hit their goal. But what's nice is you can answer questions pretty quickly, and the reason why I'm saying that is I got a call from someone randomly referred someone to me, hey, my sister's looking to refinance, can you help? And the person she was talking to was telling her that she could just miss this month's payment and refinance right now, and it won't reflect on her credit because it doesn't reflect for 30 days. So he's telling you to miss your payment and it will hit on your credit. That just sounds like a scam. And she said, you're right. And I said, listen, I'm going to be totally honest, and I'll let you know if it makes sense. She asked me, where do you think rates would be at for FHA if I were to refinance? And I said, well, I mean, if you have a great credit, I did quote someone today, and I don't fully know your situation, but it was around 5.1. She goes, if you're anywhere close to that, I would love to refinance. I said, well, let me make sure that I get you accurate numbers. I'm going to send you an application to complete online, and then I'll send you some options. And what I do is every person I send options to, so I even have past clients that I wasn't too sure if it made sense for them to refinance. The way I looked at it is they would save about $100 a month. But I just sent them a quote. So I basically made this video. I said, hey, UWM is offering this promotion. It's this 90 basis point thing. It basically means today I could get you a rate of this. I don't know if $100 a month would be worth it, because it does cost about $4,000 to $5,000 to refinance. Just that was the fees I was looking at for him. But this quote, I'll keep an eye on the interest rates. If you have any questions, or if you want to wait to refinance until you can save more, please let me know. And so he called me and he said, thank you for that video. I didn't realize, I do want to refinance, but yeah, maybe I'll wait for it to drop a little bit more. And literally the next day it dropped. This is last week. We had like a 50 basis point from one day to the next day drop. And so I said, hey, I re-looked with Charlie. We looked at his rates, and I said, this is where he said he'd like it at. I gave him a call. I said, hey, rates have or I sent him another video, because then I could go on with my day on a Friday instead of waiting for him to get off of work and calling him. He got off work, saw the video, texted me and says, okay, yes, can we move forward with this? I want to seize this opportunity. So I locked him in over the weekend. We're moving through with the loan, but the videos help. And on Inside Pass or UWM Daily, they had a guest speaker come from a mortgage broker, I think out in New York. And he said the same thing. He said, I've been sending a lot of these videos because I don't want to just be someone over the phone. So if I can get someone on a Zoom or something, then that's great. Otherwise, I send a video. They use BombBomb, which can be nice, but it's pretty expensive. So we just use Google Meets and send a recording. it goes a long way. Same with the agents. So if an agent has a specific question for you about, a loan product and you have trouble getting it out over the phone, like all the details, or they interrupt you, a lot of times a video is great just to send to them and say, hey, to answer some of your questions, I thought it'd be easier to put together this video so you can watch it when you're ready, but feel free to set up a time for us to talk a little bit more. Or even if you send someone a marketing kit, they got a new listing, you sent them some open house flyers and marketing material. On Tuesday, I would send them a video saying, hey, I just wanted to, or call them and say, hey, I just want to see how did the weekend go with your new listing? Do you have any offers that you have any questions about their pre-approval? I'd be happy to take a look or answer any questions if something looks a little concerning. Because I've done that and I've had agents say, yeah, we got one offer and it's a VA loan. What do I need to know as the listing agent if it's a VA loan? And I told him, I said, you got to call and ask if they require a cleared Section 1 pest, because if they say yes, you need to educate them that the guidelines changed and they don't have to do that, but it might be a battle. That means it's going to be an extra cost for your seller. And that just makes you look like a superhero, right? Another one said to me, oh, I had someone ask for a really big credit, but what's the max someone could ask for in a credit? So I just told them if they're putting anything less than 10% down, it's 3%, but it depends on the type of loan. If it's FHA, you could do 6%. The problem is do they have that much in closing costs? And so, he looked like a hero to his client because he went and told them, hey, they're asking for too much of a credit for their loan type and how much they're putting down. Then what I would do is on Friday or Thursday, send a video and say, hey, we have these shareables on list reports that basically have these links to, search for homes. Here's a couple I can send to you. I think they're great things to post right before the weekend for anyone to go, who's following you on social media and thinking about buying. At least they're now on your website versus Zillow. These things are not to, whether they're actually going to get someone a client or not, who knows, right? I mean, it might. The thing is you're trying to show someone that you are there to be a resource and build that relationship with them. And you got to keep reminding them. It's the same for them, right? A lot of agents, they're having to go out in the communities and remind people constantly that they're an agent. And that's what I teach to a lot of our agents here, or anyone that I talk to. It's, you have to constantly remind someone. You can't have one conversation about real estate and expect them to keep using you. It's the same thing with all of your past clients. So anyone who buys leads have to realize that you're going to have to harass the shit out of those leads. Julie, who's one of our producing managers, she worked for a company where they bought business leads, and she told me that they would come in for, I think she said like 6 hours a day just calling the leads, and they only had a 10% return on investment, but they had to call them constantly. I mean, my clients that are past clients that should refinance, I have to send them videos all the time, giving them updates, and it's fine, but it's just part of the business. Like, you just have to find ways to stay in front of people. You can make videos where it's very general, and not specific to one agent. That way you can send it to the same video to multiple agents, right? I just say, hey, I wanted to send this to you because on list reports, we have a lot of these social media content. It's a great way to remind people that you're an agent, whatever it might be. Here you go. Hey, today's, Wednesday, I wanted to send you a loan product that I think could really help if you're trying to look for ways to generate business. Here's our conventional 1% down, or whatever it's called now. This is the nuances of it. Here's how I would advertise it. But you don't hear me saying, hey, Sally, hey, John, or hey, brokerage. It's just one blanket description about the loan product and how they could advertise it. And then you're going to send that email to a lot of different agents. Does that make sense? Because our follow-up is going to be the key. You're going to get agents who they personally want to buy houses or refinance, because I've had plenty of those. You're going to find agents that they're in a tricky situation, and they've been driving this is what happened. This agent's been driving over an hour to show these people houses and is frustrated that she doesn't even know if they're qualified. And they found a house they want to write an offer on, and she's even more frustrated. And I bet if I did not reach out when I did after Success Track, she would have just gone to her team lead and said, hey, I need you to make this loan officer call them because they're ready to go. Instead, she said, no, this is stupid. Why am I forcing this guy to take the client? He paid for the client. I'm handing him a client, and he's just too busy to take it. Okay, well, I'm just going to go to someone else who's calling me, right? It's not whether the stuff we do will work. And it's not like, hey, I'm trying to talk someone into doing something that I know isn't going to work. It's more, they got to do a lot of things, and you just never know what might work for their group of people that they're trying to tap into and work with. Does that make sense? Any feedback, Mary, you have on that, or?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I mean, and with any of you, it becomes a habit and a trick of, hey, how do I set reminders for myself to follow up with the people who express an interest to you, and make a game around it. Like if you can get to 50 people who say, yes, I'd love a marketing, material for my listing, or they express some type of interest. Yeah. Can you tell me more about the one-time close new construction? Make your list of 50 and hit them twice a week with something, right? A video is great because I can practice and I can send it. And if I just, after 2 months or something, I don't, same thing. You could look at your calendar and say, okay, when could I go out to Success Track next? Because maybe I've got availability early December and I want to go, to Success Track. How about I go and send a video out to everyone talking about Success Track and saying I'm going to enter their name into a raffle if they could just express interest in going, and then I'll just see who reaches out. And you never know, that one person who you haven't been able to fully tap into, they'll just say, yeah, I'd love to hear more about that. What do I have to pay for? You just tell them your transportation to the airport is really the main thing, maybe some food here and there, but yeah, otherwise we try to make it a fun trip. And they say, absolutely, put me in that raffle. And if someone, whether you enter them into a raffle or not is totally up to you. I wouldn't keep taking the same people out because that just doesn't make sense. Unless if they're connecting you, like they're a recruiter or a mentor or something like that, then right, they're going to connect you with their agents. Yeah. But same thing for, like, Brian, you got a lot of leads. You never know. You could just send a video to a lot of leads just saying, hey, I wanted to touch base. Oh, and that's what I'll sing with the news. I would definitely subscribe or watch, or any platform you're on where you could see some type of news network talk about rates, like a major news network. I would follow them. So I saw on Instagram just by chance that some random news network said, oh, last week mortgage rates had the biggest drop in over a year. And then I had tons of clients calling me, hey, I heard there was a big drop. Where are rates at? I said, not better than what you have, but at least I knew if I see that on major news, I know that my past clients are asking about it. And so the ones that didn't call me, I want to send them a video and reach out and say, hey, I know that you may have heard on the news that there was a major drop in interest rates. Just so you know, your rate is still in a great position, but I am keeping an eye on it. Because although you tell them several times that you have them on a rate alert, which as long as you close a loan with UWM, they're all on a rate alert. We all get notified if it makes sense for them to refinance. It's called the U-Track program, or no, it's called KEEP. They're all in KEEP. U-Track is totally different. So many things. That's why I like to use UWM, as they notify me. I just had a talk with someone else who's a broker, and he said that he pays an extra fee for this program just to do that. So it's nice because UWM does it for us.
When you say fee, is that a fee when they close or a fee that they pay for like monthly?
No, this broker, this other mortgage broker pays a fee
Oh, okay.
for this service with this other company to monitor all the rate alerts.
Okay.
List Reports technically does that as well. So you could pay extra to subscribe to have a service for them to do it, but they're doing it based on national average, not based on what UWM has. And so any wholesale broker is going to naturally have lower interest rates. Yeah. I mean, it is important for any of you to also talk with, be active in your own community as well. Haley has taken the time to send you all, which Brian will work on you as well. I mean, you can't do commercial loans in your area until I'm trying to figure out Arizona. They kind of changed their terminology on the residency, and I have to contact California to see if they're going to allow me to say that my permanent residence is in Arizona. Because it used to be you could, as long as you had residency, but now they changed it to domiciled. I'm probably pronouncing that word wrong, which means you do live all the time in the state. California may say, well, how is your business's permanent address in California then? So I just have to talk with California. Otherwise, we may just hire that company. But we're working on you. But yeah, she sent out a list of just groups to network with, because you just never know who you could network with in your area. Like I play in this pool league, which I go tonight. And so one of the guys just decided, hey, I want to buy into a franchise of vending machines. And so he's doing a home equity line of credit to pay for that. That's another big one. So anyone, like if you're posting anything on social media, I would definitely have it based on business loans. Like, how do you give yourself a business loan? And then also, how do you pay off student loan debt or credit card debts? So if you own a house, you can get a home equity line of credit. And UWM's, it's interest only payments for the first 10 years, which is huge. But that can give people a little bit of breathing room so they can catch up on their student loan debts, which usually have a higher interest rate. Or if they're wanting to start a business, that's a huge resource, because most business loans are a lot higher. Yeah. What I would say as well is, if you have ideas for blog posts and you want to boost your own personal SEO, this is kind of the last thing I'll talk about. I would not make it your focus, but I know like the three of you are full-time, and there's a lot of people who are full-time in in this. If you're looking for extra things and you're tired of just emailing real estate agents, I would focus on any type of blog posts or videos that you can create for refinances, home equity line of credit, debt consolidation, lowering your payment. But what I would do is I would record a video just like this, but make sure that it's transcribed, and then take that, the transcription, put it into ChatGPT. You just copy and paste it, and you just say, hey, can you turn this into a blog post for me? Take that, and you're going to send it to either Layla or Haley. I'll show Haley how to do it too, but Layla's been doing it, and she'll post it for you on our website, including the video. The video, though, you have to upload it to YouTube. So as long as you're okay having a YouTube channel. It's not like you're trying to get a lot of leads off YouTube. It's that the algorithm with Google picks up that there's more relevant content, because people like to see a video and read something. So if there's both linked on your personal landing page, you will show up on more search results based on that content. And a video is nice because you could re-record it as many times as you want. If you want the video edited, Haley can help with that.
I can do that.
Yeah. So you just send the Google Meets recording link to her. So yeah.
Haley, when you like edit videos, are you putting just logos in there? What are you doing?
Yes, you'll
Right,
probably
we
just
just
do
want the-
videos. If you want to edit the start and end just a little bit, that way you don't have to do that. She'll do that. Editing the quality or the sound, that's the only thing. They say that sound is most important to people, not necessarily the video, like image quality, but really we're just looking for the relevance. So yeah, you don't have to have an amazing intro. We'll just put there's a video of the Purpose Home Lending logo that looks really nice. So it looks really professional. That's what she'll do. She'll create the thumbnail for your video too. Wait, were you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome. Yeah, that's really it. I will say this though. So Charlie with UWM told me that Matt Ishbia came and I think spoke to some of their groups. Oh, there he is. Hey, TJ. Matt Ishbia came and talked to a lot of their groups with like a lot of the sales floor. And he said, he told them, you guys deserve better. And I asked Charlie, well, what does he mean by that? And he said, well, because the last 3 years have been really rough and people are not making what they used to make. So just understand this is a little bit of the market. If you feel like, hey, I'm not getting a ton of traction, but I also keep your hope up. So if you have one agent, and I just realized this myself looking back on, I've at least closed especially with running the company, and I'm still closing at least one a month. I've been averaging 2 a month. Now it's pushing to 3. But if I just have one agent who closes 1 a month, I mean, that can pay a lot of your bills. If you look at your area, your average price range of houses, 2.25%, I mean, that's huge. So just understand that, yeah, emails can get tedious. Calling people can get tedious, but you have one person who's loyal to you. That is, I mean, you get 5 of those and you're talking doctor income. So it's just important to keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah. We do also have a new payroll provider, which is just QuickBooks. So also they helped us calculate payroll. So for those of you who are all W-2, we were using paychecks and they were calculating it really odd. I don't even understand what they were doing, but yeah. When you start to get a loan, we'll add you to the system as well. We will be adding, I'm glad I said that, because we'll be adding a retirement plan. And so I'll have more information coming out about that here soon, because that's since we're based in California, it's a requirement, but it's just an option for you. Totally optional. Still working on the health insurance one. It's kind of a nightmare, but there's that. And then our Christmas party. For those of you who can make it out, I think I booked most of you out for the first week in December. TJ, if you're able to make it, I don't know if I added you in there.
I signed up for December 9th and 10th.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, awesome.
I meant to tell you that, but it slipped my mind. But yeah, I was able to get a spot before they sold out or filled up.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make it a lot of fun. I mean, we'll have our classes, but we'll just make it. I think there's even Haley's going. 12 of us going. So we'll make it a lot of fun. Yeah. Haley is learning to be our processor, and so she'll be really good at it. So when you start getting applications in and people start looking at houses, that's when you want to be prepared to start talking about what next steps look like. And that's when you're going to start saying, as we get, you get an offer accepted and we get your interest rate locked, just know that what some of my team members will be helping me. Basically, the best line to say is, Haley is going to be helping me with some coordinate with the underwriter on some of the smaller items. So you'll hear a lot from her, and I'll be handling a lot of the bigger items with your loan. But I'm not passing your loan off to someone else, just so you know, because that is the number one, I think, complaint I have heard from clients when I was a real estate agent is, oh, this loan officer just passed me off to someone else, and I haven't heard from them. Do you handle the bigger items? Yes. I mean, you do. And she'll look over and say, she'll be talking with the underwriter and they'll say, hey, I'm kind of concerned about this. And she'll call you and say, hey, I think this is an item you may want to talk with the underwriter or the borrower or both about to figure out what's the best path to take handling that item. But it is common for people to think, oh, Mary just ditched me for Haley and she's not even doing anything. But when you at least preface it and set the expectation of, hey, I'm handling the bigger stuff, it makes it a smoother transition. That's really it. Any questions from anyone?
Still using Lone Spark, right?
Yeah, for the commercial loans, Lone Spark. So just so you know, they had a little bit of a bait and switch and half their company left. They are loan officers. And so we're loan officers working alone with loan officers, which is not what they told me before. But it is an option. So we're working on building our own book of commercial type lenders. If anyone needs ground up construction, renovation, big giant loans, we can do those any day. Texas, we have a ton of commercial lenders. Because basically what we do is whatever area you're wanting to do a loan in, we can look up smaller funding groups. Arizona, I have some as well. Fix and flip, we have a lot of residential. We can do a lot just our own, and we don't do Lone Spark. Best thing I'd say is if you get a commercial agent or you get a potential client, just give me a call so we can talk about what's the best option. Yeah. But like business lines of credit, I would ask them first if they own a residence, because a home equity line of credit or a cash out refinance is going to be their best option. Even if we go to an actual commercial lender, that's going to be their best option. But if not, then we'll just bring it through Lone Spark. And it's common to pay a lot of high fees with certain loans. It's just, you don't want to send any, like, let's say, Brian, you get someone who wants to buy just a single family investment property in Arizona. You can absolutely do that. We just have to we're going to take it to a different lender. So they're not getting charged 2 origination fees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because a few months back, I remember sending someone because Lone Spark had all those basically fillable documents.
And don't use those anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, when you get your first potential client for the business purpose one, let me know. I'm going to have you make basically a Google form, or what's it called? It's a questionnaire, but we have it through Google. Google Forms. You're just going to make a brief questionnaire with some basic stuff. That the problem with Lone Spark, though, is they switched it. So everything was soft pull, soft pull, soft pull. And now it's hard pull, hard pull, hard pull. And they're just going to do the hard pull right away. So I wouldn't send them a link. We're just gonna fill out a questionnaire on our end, but we need to get a lot more details about it. So a lot of the commercial agents, this is what tends to happen is, like we have Gene in Florida, where he's had some commercial agents that he's talked to. They say, we're trying to sell this property. Can it get pre-approved? Yeah, absolutely. Advertise it as pre-approved. From person to person, investor to investor, it can dramatically change whether they have to put 30% down, 20%, 40, 50. I mean, it's really hard. And I don't want you to say that in your advertisement, because you're gonna dissuade someone. So let's say someone comes and they didn't know that they had to put 20% down, but they've got enough for 20% on another property. Well, I'd rather convert them. But if you just tell them that, they're going to say, oh, not qualified, and they just don't even reach out. That's the best way to describe it to these agents. It's the same with the one-time close new construction loan, the conventional 1% down with UWM. Like any loan, you don't want someone advertising a ton of details about it. You just want people to know there's a possibility, because then they'll reach out, right? Yeah.